Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary Series. And green-white scales versus maybe Golgari Eldrazi? Scales is off to a pretty good start here. Double scales and a Managorger Hydra. Okay, Matter Reshaper is attacking in. No blocks, so Scales is down to 15. Transgress the Mind, got rid of Nissa. Oath of Nissa, that'll turn the Hydra into a 4/4. And finds a Blighted Fen, which, no, he plays the Hissing Quagmire first. Now, this Hydra is going to be a major pain in the Eldrazi players' butt. It was too powerful from the start to... Sorry, I had to sneeze. It was too powerful from the start thanks to the double hardening scales to be able to spatial contortion. So he was pretty much stuck with a direct kill from the start. Avatar of the Resolutes is 6/5, turns Hydra into a 7/7. So he really needs to basically destroy this Managorger Hydra. Murderous Cut, Ruinous Path, Ultimate Price. He could exile it. I can't remember what the card is called right offhand, but it's 1 black and 3 generic. Devoid, exile target creature. And he didn't play anything, passes the turn back to Scales, who plays another Managorger Hydra. The one that's already in play is now a 10/10. He doesn't have enough mana to make him sacrifice anything, not that that would help. And he attacks in, 10/10 trample and a 6/5 trample. Mans up the Hissing Quagmire. It has Death Touch, so it will be able to kill the Managorger Hydra. The problem is the sheer volume of damage that's going to trample over. Even if he double blocks, that's still 12 damage that he's going to take. Okay, he's double blocking the Avatar. That's still the same amount of damage. 10 unblocked, 2 trample over. All he needs here is a Dramoka's Command and he wins. Or Valorous Stance. So, Eldrazi concedes, and let's go to game 2. First turn, Servant of the Scale from Scales. They did spend about 2 minutes sideboarding. I don't know what Scales would have sided in, but if I was the Golgari Eldrazi deck, I would have sided in pretty much every kill card in my sideboard. Spatial Contortion to kill off the Servant, because typically Scales, their creatures have no real protection. The only way that they get it are through things like Valorous Stance to give them indestructible, Feat of Resistance to give them protection from a color, and then typically, just from being massive creatures, so the combat damage doesn't really matter. Transgress the Mind. Nope, he doesn't have a response. I thought for a second he had one. Gets rid of a Managorger Hydra. That's another easy way of making sure that his creatures don't get out of control. Windswept Teeth, Forest, Falconer, Flooded Strand, Dramoka's Command. So he doesn't have a very good hand right now. Throws out the Falconer, which can be killed quite easily by a number of things that he has access to. Throws down a Duress. Probably going to get rid of the Dramoka's Command unless he has something better in his hand. Got rid of Valorous Stance, so that was his top deck, and Spatial Contortion to kill off the Falconer. Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. That was a very good top deck on his part. There are ways that the Eldrazi deck can get rid of Nissa, but she's much harder to get rid of than any given creature in Scales. Catacomb Sifter from Eldrazi. And unfortunately for Eldrazi, he's running out of cards, which means if Scales can top deck some creatures, he might just win this game. Another plant token from Nissa. And passes back to Eldrazi. Manning up the Hissing Quagmire. At least this way he will get around the plant tokens with some damage. Except for Dramoka's Command. That'll kill off one of the Scion token. Leave him with a 1-2. And he'll be able to block both of these creatures. Is he gonna block both of them, though? Yes, he is. I was thinking, she's at high enough loyalty counters that you could have only blocked one and still had access to her -2 ability. But having that many counters on her must have been more important to him. And then again, he could have just drawn a really good creature. Well, Abzan Falconer isn't a bad creature. Okay, makes another plant token. -7, gain X life, draw X cards where X is the number of lands you control. Well, if he can keep her alive and undamaged for the next 2 turns, Murderous Cut to kill off the Falconer. So, Nissa is going to be taking damage now. Scales is top decking. And blocks the Quagmire. Nissa's down to 4. And Eldrazi is now top decking. So, plant token from Nissa, and passes back to Eldrazi, who pulled a land. 1, 2, 3. Now he can man up both of his Hissing Quagmires. So, while one Quagmire with the Catacomb Sifter would, it would drag out for a while before Nissa died. Now, Nissa is dead in 2 turns, counting this turn. Okay, blocks Quagmire. Nissa's down to 1. Makes a plant token. 2 cards in hand. One of them's a land, which really sucks. Oh, the other one is Nissa. Well, it gets him another plant token, and Nissa will be on 2 after this attack. Okay, manning up the Quagmires again. Oh, only going with 1. So, blocking, Nissa will take no damage, and follows it up with Kalidas. Well, that was quite the good pickup. Nissa makes a token, and unless Scales has some response in his hand, Nissa's going to die this turn. One Quagmire, 2 Quagmires, and attacking all in on Nissa. He blocks Kalidas. Why, I don't know. Oh, really? 2, 4, 6. I thought he had enough damage. I was wrong. So Nissa's on 1, makes a plant token, goes up to 2. And this is just dragging out. Unless Scales top decks something, well, he gets a Falconer, which isn't that helpful right now. Unless he has a Dramoka's Command. Okay, another Nissa. Makes a token. Oath of Nissa. Finds Catacomb Sifter. Mans up the Quagmires again, attacks all in on Nissa. Oh. I was expecting him to block the Catacomb Sifter with the Falconer. Because that let him get a zombie token. But it did kill off one of the Quagmires. And he concedes. That was going to be a long, drawn out, who can top deck the best card first, and Eldrazi was gaining steam. He was getting more creatures on the board that were staying on the board. So, unfortunately, that second game was rather boring, but that was Golgari Eldrazi versus Green White Scales. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next video.